Hi, my name's Aakaachii. I turned 18 some days ago and I'm Nigerian. I go to university in England. I'm in the second semester of my second year, so I've just started my second half of university, and I started university at 16, so I was quite young, and instead of making mistakes I just kind of kept observing mistakes because I kept seeing people who were like 20, 21 doing things that I would actually dislike seeing if it were a 13 or 14-year-old doing the same things. So I just started kind of learning, and it kind of matured me a bit faster than everyone else in some ways, in some certain areas of life, because I saw things this 20-year-old people did, still do by the way. I walk down the street every day, I see people who are 22 who should be adults, who should be matured, and they do this kind of things that I just look at myself and say, you know what, I might be 18, but in 4 years I don't want to be like you. And it's really weird. I know people are doing this kind of Dare Me campaign as a form of, you know, promoting International Women's Day, which is happening this week, but yeah, it's kind of the same thing for me, but I would not be saying it in a way as if I were advising my 13-year-old self, because I can barely remember anything I did when I was 13. I can remember getting into a lot of trouble with teachers and stuff and being loud, but I can barely remember things I did not do right. That's because I'm having such an amazing time now and I've just learned to grow. So I will generally say 5 tips that any teenage girl or woman, adult, should know. Number 1, live in the moment. Now this is something that kind of applies to my 13-year-old self, because when I was 13 all I did was I kept like researching universities and planning for universities and stuff, and even though I did not know, I had no idea that I was going to end up going to university like at 15, 16, like I was still planning, even though it was like 6, 7, it was meant to be about 6, 7 years away. And the thing is that sometimes when you don't live in the moment, you kind of let everything pass. You're always planning for the future, that you forget that every day is a present.
I know that sounds so cringe and cheesy, but it's still true.
And the thing is that I'm kind of very lucky, because now that my university is passing, I'm experiencing every moment for what it is, because I know how long I've planned for it. So the kind of planning for the future did work for me in that way, but I would say that you should live in the moment, because there's so many people now in university who don't realize it, that time is going, and then you usually see it in like graduation or something, like 2 months before people leave university they realize that they're leaving, and they start to like get active and stuff. And when I mean active, I don't mean like physically or anything, I mean like getting involved and just, you know, having a nice time. You don't necessarily have to know that something is coming to an end for you to realize that you should have a great time, because if you think about it, we are all going to die at one point in time, so our life is going to end, and it's really important that, you know, we live in the moment, whatever moment it is. Don't just shy away from it, be good. The second point is let your parents be. This is mostly for people around 13, 15, even an advice to my 13, 15-year-old self, let your parents be. Even now, as I'm 18, I still like arguing with my parents on about 60-70% of things. And recently I kind of realized that, okay, these people are like 50 years plus and I'm barely legal yet, you know. They're always gonna have their points of views and stuff, and I'm gonna have my points of views and stuff, and it's perfectly fine. We agree with each other and disagree with each other at the same time, and it's perfectly fine, because we're different people and we're different and the same at the same time, and it is fine. Let your parents be. Don't stretch yourself, don't stress them. They love you and you love them, and that's the truth. My third point is learn to be by yourself. There's so many people here at university who don't realize how much they're missing out on stuff just because they don't know how to be by themselves. There's so many people who I know, they can't even go into like the dining hall to have lunch or dinner or breakfast because there's no one to go with. There's so many people I know, they don't want to try out a fitness class or go for some event happening because there's no one to go with. This is something I picked up really early when I started university. I was just 16 years old, but I wanted to have a great time. But then I realized every time I text any of my friends, I'd be like, oh, there's this thing happening, do you want to come? And they'd be like, oh, I'm busy or something. Then I realized if I didn't start to go on just things on my own, I would end up losing out on so many stuff. And I think that's why I'm having an amazing experience now at university, because I've learned to be more myself, and this is something that so many people who are older than me and even younger than me haven't learned, and it's important to learn this. I know I'm talking quite fast, I'm really sorry, I'm a fast speaker, sometimes I forget that you might not even understand what I'm saying.
The fourth point will be to set boundaries. This is something I did not do in my secondary school, and it kind of haunted me throughout my secondary school, and then obviously I came out and everything became fine because I fixed it. Because when you move to a different country, you can fix stuff about yourself.
And this is setting boundaries. When I was in year 8, I was very like serious, and many people were like, oh, you're uptight, chill out, calm down. And just like that, I swapped. I became really friendly and really chatty with everyone, but that turned out to be really negative, because people started to lose respect for me. They'd say stuff that would like hurt me and stuff, or they just wouldn't value you as much as they used to value you when you did not talk to them, or they just would overlook you. It's like people always seek validation, and then once they get it, they still go on to seek validation from stuff. So it's like, you wanted me to be your friend, now I'm your friend, but you don't care about me. You want that girl who doesn't notice you to be your friend. And it's really funny when I see like some of my classmates from secondary school, or when they message me and they're like, oh, Aakaachii, I miss you, you're so funny, friendly, stuff like that. And I'm just here like, well, you did not act like that. You just kept, you know, being very rude and disrespectful because I was paying attention to you. So I'm not saying you should be mean or anything, but kind of set boundaries so people know what they shouldn't do around you or shouldn't say about you or around you, because you will end up feeling really hurt if you kind of take everything like, nah, well, I don't care. Someone tells you something you don't like, tell them, I don't like this you said about me, or you're saying about me, don't talk to me like this, I don't like it. Because if you don't do that, they'll feel like it's alright to keep going that way around you. Finally, do not reject yourself. I'm pretty sure I do this sometimes. I'm pretty sure you do this sometimes. It is something that everyone does, but we don't realize until we've kind of accepted it. What I mean, do not reject yourself. There's so many times we walk past people or see people, but we just never talk to them, or just never have anything to do with them, because in our mind, unconsciously, we've kind of decided that that kind of person won't be our friends. It's just like sometimes, like for example, let's say you've just recently became friends with like a hipster guy. You might realize you can see yourself saying something like really, you're so nice, like I would have never guessed that you would like be my friend, just because, you know, I don't really have any hipster friends, or oh, she's a cheerleader, she probably won't like me, or we probably won't be friends or can't be friends because she probably has a different mindset from me. We don't usually do this consciously, but it's something that happens. There's so many people who walk past across the road and we just don't talk to them, we don't say hi, we don't do anything, because our mind has kind of made the connection that that's the kind of people we hang out with, and then we probably would not be friends with them. It just would not work. And just try to not let that happen. Try and talk to everyone with interest and listen to everyone equally, because you don't know who might be who. You don't know who might be your best friend, you don't know who might be your husband, your wife, or just, you know, an acquaintance. So yeah, those are the 5 things that anybody's younger self should be aware of. And this was kind of like an introduction video to my channel too, because I haven't done like a proper speaking video. But yeah, I hope I actually made sense, because my throat is sore now, signifying that I've actually been doing nothing but ranting for the past few minutes. But yeah, comment below and what you feel like you should know, like you should have done when you were younger, or any young person should do. And if you want, you can like subscribe.
Please subscribe. Like, comment, share, whatever.